there's currently over 600,000 men living with prostate cancer issues, right? That's an increase of over 20%. Currently 1 in 6 men are diagnosed with this problem, right? Where does it stop? And it's going to need conversations like what Greene King and Manmillan have put together to make this happen. So I'm all for supporting this campaign. Talking is very, very important. So I applaud what Greene King are doing, really, to get behind this campaign, to get men talking. If they're sitting there with a pint and they're having a conversation, amen to that. The 6 o'clock bell ring, right, is a fantastic idea. And what that bell ring does, it becomes a symbol. It breaks that barrier down, right? What it enables us men to do is to start this conversation about early diagnosis, because the two big issues that I've always mentioned in conversation that we men struggle with is fear and ignorance. The fear of knowing and the ignorance to choose to do nothing about it. And there's an answer to both of those situations, right? We just need to ask the question. And by starting that conversation, if we can go away and help to save one person, right, then we've done something. Well, my journey with prostate cancer, that started at the end of 2010. Went to the doctor, picked up a leaflet, Manmillan leaflet, read the leaflet. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make an appointment to come back and do this test. It's a simple pinprick blood test. Takes less than 10 minutes. Well, at no point did I imagine that 10 minutes was going to change the rest of my life. And then not long after that, they called me and my wife in, sat us both down and said, Mr. McKellar, your prostate is covered in cancer. Well, I looked at the doctor, I looked at my wife, and I got up and I walked out of the room. I think that's when the word cancer hit me. And I'm not ashamed to tell you, I sat in that car and I cried like a baby. I just thought, how am I going to deal with this? When I was diagnosed, right, dealing with the physical issues was a problem within itself, right? Because as I said, nothing prepares you for dealing with those issues, but it's the mental side of it that really, really affects you. It's very difficult, I know, for men to be very open, but what I ask all men to try and do is make sure that when this happens, you share it with your nearest and dearest, right? Because you're going to need that network to get through this journey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Errol, you okay?
Not bad.
Nice to see you.
How are you, sir?
Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Oh, not bad. Thank you for that.
How was the interview this morning? Pretty impressive.
Well, we have to start drinking then.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get that money back somewhere.
That comes from all sorts of different ways.
And this is why the earlier we are diagnosed with this problem, the easier is your pathway to how you deal with it, So it's all about early detection, which is key.
I'm alive because my good lady was nagging about me snoring. Really?
Yeah.
You're not, when you're in the pub, you're not really lonely, are you?
No, not at all.
Even if you're sitting next to somebody.
Yeah.
I applaud Greene King and Manmillan for coming together, right, to create this kind of conversation over a pint It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got Team Gary's there.
And then Errol belt. Here he goes again.
Might not be able to wake up tomorrow.
I used to be a mechanic doing servicing, repairs and MOTs.
My belt's against the wall.
How do you keep it so sharp?
Hi guys.
That's a trade secret.
Cheers, boys. World champion.
So if it's illegal to drive your car without an MOT, let's have that attitude, well, you know what? Once a year, I need to MOT my body. Talking, sharing and, spreading the word will help us men to come to terms with this. This is a very, very significant problem, right? And there's not a script in how you deal with it, but you can start by talking about it.
I want people to look at this poster, right? Continue that conversation, make that be. Well, that was a proud moment. They gave me an MBE. Our wonderful Queen gave it to me on her birthday. But it's me and everyone else. It's so significant because it helps us to continue to get
Sports, right? You have TV?
My dad's looking at it. There's TV. The thing is,
Frank he was living in the John Bett's house opposite. Little Irish man. Please come to such and such.
Yeah. Lovely.
Making 12 pence per pint. We've really noticed that people have dropped off, where they...
Yeah, because he's well in now with all the other ones.
I'll just buy some flour or something, I guess.
So when I spoke to Joan, she said the same.
Anyway, they can't find his money. Can't find a bank account or anything for it.
Cheers. I'm very organised already.
And I wanted to do that. My cousin's uncle Tyler's he's absolutely one of the funniest kids I've ever met in my life.
Herbs and whatever. So the two of us would have to do something together. When we're making the stuff here anyway, in the kitchen.
yeah. Everybody else in the everyone going off.